Today, we're gonna go over all of the figures I still need to get. Plus, we do a very special announcement. What are you doing, Variant Joey?
I am Emperor Padawan. Execute episode 66.
Is that all you came to say?
Do it.
Welcome back to the journey. Now, on episode 50, I took a look backwards at all the figures that I've collected so far. But today, we're gonna take a look forward at what I still need to collect and what my path forward looks like. And right now, I'm doing 3 big collection runs. I'm doing my full loose run, a full loose graded run, and a full mint on card and boxed run. But today, we're gonna go over what I need for my full loose run. And I have a special announcement to make, but that is for later on in the show. But for now, let's get to that list of what I still need to collect, and we're gonna get a figure from that list. So let's go. So if you're watching this for the first time, I'm collecting the entire Kenner line of the Star Wars figures made from 1977 to 1985. And yes, I started from scratch, so if you need to go back and watch all of those episodes, please do. So if you know this show, then you know that I've planned my entire run using spreadsheets, both for budget and for a checklist. So let's go over this and see what I still need. So this is my loose run, and we're gonna start with Star Wars. So on the very first page, we almost have this whole first page crossed off, except for this figure right here. And this is the loose Vinyl Cape Jawa. Now, I may take this off my loose run because since this one is so expensive and since this one is so highly foraged, even if the seller bought it from someone else, they may not be sure of the figure's authenticity. So I might buy this one only graded and take this off my loose run entirely. But if I can find a loose figure verified, and if I can get it for a reasonable price and condition, then I'm gonna buy it loose. But right now, a reasonable price that I would consider would be around the $1,500 to $2,000 range for a loose verified version. And right now that's hard to find. And on the next page, we need a hammerhead. And that's it from the first movie. So going into The Empire Strikes Back, on our first page, we only need to find one figure, and that's the Luke Skywalker in his Bespin fatigues. And this is the one that comes with a blue-black Rebel blaster and the yellow lightsaber. And on the next page, we only need 3 figures, starting with the Imperial Commander. And I think this one is one of the best looking figures from Kenner, and also the movie characters and their uniforms were amazing for the Empire officers. So I can't wait to get this figure for my collection. And then we come to the AT-AT Commander, or what I like to call General Veers. And I've always called this one Veers, and we're gonna go over this figure and character in a future episode. And of course, a figure that I used to have as a kid, but have since lost to time. It's the C-3PO with removable limbs. And this is one of the best figures in my opinion. And on the next page, I have 2 figures that I need. One of them is the Bounty Hunter Zuckuss, and I did an episode about the Bounty Hunter stories based on the book Tales of the Bounty Hunters. So if you want to check out that episode, please do, as I go into a great backstory of Zuckuss, who is known in the movie and novels as Forlom, which is the droid's correct name, but only when I refer to this particular figure as Zuckuss, I'm doing that because Kenner refers to the figure as Zuckuss, but we all know the real name. And the next one that we need is the smiling version of Lando, and I have the non-smiling in my case, but I thought that the smiling version of Lando was a nice and inexpensive variant to get. So now we're going into the Return of the Jedi. And I do have an Akbar from my childhood collection, and it's in pretty good shape, so all I need to do for this one is hunt for a staff for him. And I used to have the speeder bike as a kid, but I never had the Biker Scout, so that's another one that I need, and I'm gonna be super happy to eventually get that one to put in that case. And one of the all-time best looking figures in the Kenner vintage line, in my opinion, is the Emperor's Royal Guard, so I'll need to get him. And we also need the Jedi Luke, either in the blue or the green saber variant. And we also need the Rebel Commando, which made my top 10 worst figures of all time list. And I do have a Reese in my childhood collection, but he's missing his pew pew, his accessory, so we're gonna have to pick that one up for him. And on the next page, I need a Claytu in his skiff guard, and I need a Nikto, and I need an ATST driver, and if it comes with an actual ATST, I'm not gonna complain. No, just kidding. We need the figure first, and then I'll think about getting an ATSD. We also need a B-Wing pilot and Han Solo in his trench coat, and I need the Prune Face himself. And this one is another one that made my top 10 worst figures, Prune Face. I have to collect a character named Prune Face. Well, I don't have to do anything, but I'm gonna collect it, and I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna do it with a smile on my face. And on the very next page, we need Tebow. Now, I do have a Tebow in my childhood collection, but it's missing all of his accessories. I'm just gonna go ahead and probably just buy a full, complete, loose Tebow. And now we get into the Power of the Force line, and there are 4 bears that I need in that line, and the first one that I need is Paploo. And I also need the famous Yak Face, and I've been hunting for one for a very long time, and I even put a bid on Yak Face a couple days ago, so we'll see how that goes through. And I haven't been getting much luck on these higher price figures, especially in auctions, because a lot of people are just coming in and starting to bid and bid and bid, and pretty soon I get priced out. And I don't feel like having bidding wars on figures that I'm not too sure about. So, but one day I'll go into one of those auctions and I'll be the only bidder. Yeah, right, but I can dream, right? And we also need an A-Wing, and we need a figure that I like. It's the Han Solo in Carbonite, and I really can't wait to get that figure. But we need a lot from the Power of the Force line. And we also need a Luke in his Endor battle poncho, and we need Ramba, the other red bear. And on the next page, my favorite Ewok of all, Warrock. And so that's it. So before we pick up a figure, down in my descriptions are links for supplies that you may need for your collecting journey. And when you click and buy using my links, it does support the channel, so thank you for that. And also join me on all my other social media. The links for those are on the homepage of my YouTube channel. And we finally have our own merch store. So head on down to the descriptions to get your hands on some Padawan collector gear. And yes, there's even some Rami and Jaws gear. And stay tuned to find out how you can win this Reese. So since Variant Joey said that this is episode 66, let's get an Empire figure that I have always wanted just because of the way that they look. And I tend to like bad guy figures because they're the ones that always just look so cool. I mean, the bad guys are usually the ones who are better funded, and it always seems like they have the better fashion designers, and they're always picking the coolest colors. So when George Lucas was designing the characters for Star Wars, for the Empire, he designed them to be much like a regime of the 1930s and 1940s from Germany, Italy, and Japan. Their leaders often dressed in military garb, and in Germany, it was the famous fashion designer Hugo Boss who manufactured Germany's stormtrooper outfits and officer uniforms. So, for the Galactic Empire, he took this design feature from Hugo Boss and the stark nature of the color and the sleek lines, and gave the Empire officers the same look as the 1930s and 40s German officers. So, when you look at the Empire naval officers from Star Wars, now you know where they got the design inspiration from. And today, we're gonna get the Imperial Commander, one of my favorite. So, how does one become a naval officer in Palpatine's Empire? Well, most of the naval officers were from human affluent families who were put in prestigious academies across the galaxy and fed the propaganda to follow Palpatine's plan and goals. The only other famous non-human officer is Thrawn. So, for the action figure, the Imperial Commander was released in 1981 on the Empire Strikes Back Wave 3 on the 41A card back. And he comes with the blue Imperial Blaster. And we found a great example of the Imperial Commander being sold on eBay, so we picked him up. And I picked up the skinny head, pale face variant with the 2-line country of origin stamp. Major things to look out for with this figure is 1, knowing the variation you have, and you could go on sites like the Variant Villain to help you out. And 2, knowing the accessories that come with these figures, such as the blue blaster. And this one came with the V4, aka M5 translucent blue blaster. And this figure could have potential paint rub in these areas that you have to look out for. Make sure that the silver on the belt isn't rubbed off. The figure right here has some slight paint wear on the belt, but not highly noticeable. And for my display case, it's definitely fine. The officer rank stripes will tend to have wear on them as well, and the silver dot on the cap can also have wear that you're gonna have to look out for. And knowing what a mint example looks like can be the best tool for you if you're either looking to buy or comparing the figures that you already have to assess the quality. So find trusted reference sites as a tool, like the Jedi Temple Archives. Also, the paint and eyebrow will tend to have wear, so look out for those as well. But this figure is a great example of a figure. So let's place this in our collector displays case, and let's also mark this figure off of our list that we got from an eBay seller for a very respectable $30.16. And we get one figure closer to our goal. And one more thing. So if you guys and gals stayed this long to watch all of the content, you know that this is the time where I do special announcements and special giveaways. I just hit 2,000 subscribers, and to say thank you, I'm giving away a special mint on card figure. And this is the episode that you have to enter on. So comment down in the description with hashtag 2000. So you can enter to win this mint on card 1983 Re-Yeez. And this is gonna be a very short entry period. So you have up until Sunday, March 20th of 2022 at midnight Pacific to enter. So thank you everybody and good luck. And I'm gonna deliver anywhere in the world, so anybody across this planet can enter. Well, I'm not gonna personally deliver it, but I'll mail it anywhere in the world. So you have to be a subscriber to win. So hit that subscribe button and also that notification bell so you know when episodes go live. I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And I'm moving studios, so I may switch to Saturdays just for a couple of weeks, but I'll be coming back to the Wednesday and Saturday schedule very, very soon. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time.
If you're new to the channel, check out the welcome video, or just check out the next episode. And please subscribe if you want to follow the journey. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.